Good day, everyone, and welcome to the world of the International Fab Talks. A happy Father's Day to one and all. All those strong parents who take care of their children in the right way, a happy Father's Day to you. Irrespective of gender, I would like to wish everyone, because in certain cases, we see there's a change or a shift in the pattern of taking up the responsibility of looking after children. So I would like to wish all the parents a happy Father's Day today. In fact, parents should be celebrated every day, irrespective of gender. The World Elder Abuse Awareness Day is also celebrated on Sunday, the 15th of June. We would like to create awareness on that as well today. If you find yourself ill-treating an elderly person in your own house, please stop that. If you can't do justice to that elderly person, please seek help from somewhere else. But do not traumatize physically, mentally, or financially. Do not harm them. This is a little request from personal experiences. I'm sharing this. It's time now to invite our celebrity guest. You must be waiting as to who our celebrity guest is today, going to join us and share the journey, right? It's none other than Dr. Anita Prasad. She's joining us all the way from Bengaluru, Karnataka, India. Join us to have a wonderful time with her. She is a mystery to today. I'd like to unravel that mystery. She's known to many people across the world, but to me, she's a mystery. And like people like me are meeting her for the first time. So then she's a mystery to us. She's very, very talented. Let's get to know all about it. That's a magical part. We'll keep that a secret. First, let's welcome our celebrity guest. She's here with us. Hello, Dr. Anita. Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to join you and lovely to be there on your podcast, Pep Talks. Looking forward to have a wonderful discussion and then also to discuss with your viewers more and exchange and, share the kind of information that we all are looking at.
Communicate properly, you become a hero to one another, right?
Sure.
So I don't take much of your
Thank
time.
you.
I just introduce our guest in a brief way. Ma'am, I just go ahead and share a little bit about you and then begin the journey.
Sure, please.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, ma'am. So, dear friends, as I earlier mentioned, we have with us Dr. Anita Prasad. She's here to spread the message of inclusivity. We also believe in being inclusive at all given times. Every single moment, you should have this in your head. No segregation or, no bias or no prejudice. We should all be one, like united, one big whole, because we belong to one race that is called as human race, right? So we have with us Dr. Anita Prasad. She is an advocate for humanity, peace, and inclusivity. She's a scientist, a poet, an educator, a technologist, and much, much more. She is the founder of Anita Humanitarian Foundation. She always has something new and magical to share. She shares great bonds not only in India, but also in Germany as well. And when you connect with her, there is some type of warmth that you get when you connect with this person. She is none other than Dr. Anita Prasad. You don't get these vibes with many, just a handful of people, you get these positive vibes. And here is Anita with us. We'll get to know more about her journey. Dear ma'am, thank you so much for being here with us. Today, I'd like to ask you one question, the first question before we begin the journey. How would you like to describe yourself? Who is the real Dr. Anita Prasad? If you could explain and share that first, and then we begin the journey into your work and your passion.
World is yet to watch the real Dr. Anita Prasad. So working towards it, I'm right now on a construction site, and you described it so beautifully that there are plenty of things happening. So I can say I'm at some sort of a construction site. The world is yet to watch it. So once I achieve, I can say that this is what I am, and I have done something, and these are my kind of achievements. But the efforts are on, and that's what I think the India requires, these kind of efforts, and that's where I'm trying to align myself to. That's a short answer to your question.
Thank you, ma'am. That's very humble of you to put it in that way. That's really nice. A very brief, crisp, and a humble explanation about oneself. The best is yet to come, right?
Yes.
I think it's for all of us. We all have to think that on those lines, like the best is yet to come, and not to be proud on what we've achieved. We still have to achieve a lot. And when you serve humanity in the right way, that's the greatest achievement.
Yes.
Ma'am, you're connected with medicine. Now, how did this journey begin? If you could share that.
Medicine, well, I'm not connected to medicine. I'm in engineering. I'm a doctor of engineering, so it's a different subject altogether.
If I may interrupt, like you are connected with certain medicines for the transgender community or
Oh
the
yeah, that
LGBTQ
is
plus
that is
community?
the genetics, the
Yes.
genetics study. I think. Sorry, I think. Thank you very much for pointing it out. So this is just a larger study, or let's say, the first time ever such a study has been done on all the different genders that we are talking about, and that is a various. There are over 100 types of genders, not the sexual orientation. So there are genders, so different genders and different identities. And these gender identities is what is very curious, and we are trying to know much more in depth so that our textbooks that we read or our children read in the future India or the world, we want to change them forever by giving them the right set of information. What is genetics, and what is this chromosome, and how is this contributing, and where does it come from? And even the genetics for say, on a long run, how can we contribute for a better humanity? And this is where we are working, and this is the largest project and the first time ever done such a project on this planet. So we should be proud this is happening in India. And thanks to Mysore University, JSS, Ramaya Hospitals, and many more who joined hands to make this a successful story. So I had to suture everybody. As I said, I'm in transition. I mean, as I'm transitioning, these initiatives are also under transition. So this will take years to complete, of course.
The journey has begun, right?
Absolutely,
The first
absolutely.
step has
So
begun.
this
And it
is a proud situation for India, and this is not known to many because we haven't come out in the media or anywhere else that we can come out and then address this kind of a situation. Obviously, one day it would happen because we want this to take some sort of grip and then some sort of a shape before we come out and then talk about this publicly.
that's really nice, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing that. You are a poet as well. What kind of poems do you write?
Oh yeah, my story made me a poet. I can say that, the kind of pain that I went through, the kind of pain that makes someone imagine they write about and think back about their life, and the kind of pitfalls and the kind of the problem areas, and the way humanity treated, the way society functions, behaves, and the practices, etc. I think this is how a poet is born. Don't you think so? So this is where I went ahead, and when I was writing my autobiography, or let's say my biography, not autobiography. So when I was writing my own biography, I realized that, okay, these are the poems that I could write. This has so much of substance, and why am I not able to pass over to the next generations? And when all these things got written, so we said, why not we include these kind of poems as well? And yeah, that made me some sort of, let's say, extra push into that kind of an environment. And of course, that I think gives me a lot of confidence, and I think I can continue to write these things. That is how I evolved, and this could be my hobby as well. So it's not like a main force, because I'm not made into that, because I'm more into the technology innovations and so on. I'm not into that, but of course, this would contribute certainly. Some sort of emotions can make me a poet as well at times.
You're an engineer and you belong to the
Yes.
engineering stream. Apart from that, you also are into writing and you express emotions and the way you feel, the way others make you feel, right? You've been able to pen that down. That's great. You've mentioned the word pain. It could be either physical or emotional or mental or every all of it. Now, why do you feel that you've been pained by others or hurt by others? When did this pain begin? You begin to understand that this is pain. This is what it is for me, that I don't like what they say, or I don't like what's being done towards me or something. It could be the family members, it could be friends, neighbors, it could be strangers. Usually it starts in the family. From my experiences, it starts
See,
at
first of
home.
all, we get into the achievements category, or the list of achievements, list of, let's say, the kind of tasks that one, when a normal person is. you have some checklist that you run through, and that particular checklist is also much difficult for anyone to achieve. And when, especially when you dream big, when you are trying to do something extraordinary. Okay, I sat on the tarmac of Bangalore airport, and I used to sit long ago, uh, watch the planes landing and taking off, and dreamt of becoming a pilot and taking that as a main career. But somehow I could not, because I was more extracurricular. I went to southern India on a bicycle and so on and so forth. So this is something crazy what I used to, and then I couldn't secure the marks. So let me put it that way. And then of course I could not land in, because my father was also very much insisting upon you become a lawyer instead of becoming a somebody else. So, but I didn't stop. I continued. After my graduation, my post graduation, I continued. I went and joined many initiatives, and then I even went into Indian Institute of Science, and again went into engineering. Started designing the airplanes, right? And then I started learning flying when I went to Germany. So I didn't give up my dreams. I never ever gave up my kind of so that even though whatever the hard work, so you keep ticking, you keep moving. Let's not deviate now. So when we do all these things, you feel that you need some sort of a reward. And suddenly when for example, I'm loving somebody, I'm in touch. I mean, this is something like, your own family members, and you truly believe that this is my world, and this world should not be shaken. And that's the only mental peace that you get if you drop by, and especially when you are living in a foreign country. So that becomes your priority. That becomes your own home, your comfort factor. You are everything, right? I mean, that doesn't have anything else apart from this. Your mind is completely structured and connected to it, no matter what the society is trying to play on you. So that becomes one of your forte. So when somebody is there, when someone is in that kind of a comfort, and suddenly some health hazard happens, and you are completely ignored, and you become nobody because of that. Imagine this. So 2 years of consecutive hospital journey made me a woman, suddenly from man to woman. And despite whatever the efforts, people are not ready to understand what this issue is. No, I want you back in the same place. When such thing happens, and the similar efforts happened even with my own contacts and with my own friends, so that broke up. That did not give that kind of a happy, let's say, face that I can put up in front of the society. So when such thing happen, you are trying to restructure, you are trying to realign in some place. And that is the point when you get lonely, and then from loneliness you get into aloneness. From aloneness you start constructing yourself, right? So when you start constructing yourself, when you start practicing your new life, when you do something extraordinary, and you want to do something extraordinary, you need some time, and that is the kind of construction site which I'm currently placed. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, congratulations on that. The way you shared that, when
Thank
you
you.
face loneliness and afterwards you begin to reconstruct yourself or begin that constructing journey, practicing to be okay with your new life, to embrace your new life and construct it in the right way, meet new people, connect with them. You find the world is a big place and it's a beautiful place. You have many people who will really give you that space, who will accept you for who
Absolutely.
you are, right?
Absolutely.
That's really nice.
And
Even
you need to be away from all the criticisms. You need to be away from all sorts of suggestions that is pouring in on you. And especially when you get a little bit recognized in the society, a person like me. and suddenly people come and then defame you in some place. They just want me to be a guide in their PhD programs, which is not my forte, which I'm not supposed to be in one of that kind of a place. So something like this, as crazy as this. So these are some of the tortures that the society threw up on us, and we got to be very clear in terms of where are we heading, despite whatever the problems that comes across, and then keep moving ahead. And this is a very big challenge, and that is what a successful person really requires, in my opinion. Not the kind of trouble. Yes, the trouble is always there. The society is always irritating. People are irritating. Anything is very tough to achieve. But still, what does one person require? If we are on that, I think we will be doing a wonderful initiative.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that. Now, ma'am, you've spent quite some time in Germany and as well as in India. Presently, you are in India. If you were to choose between these two countries, which one would you choose?
I would choose my motherland, India, for sure. But if you are looking at professionalism, and let's say only to the point, and let's say one straight line, I would still prefer Germany, because that is something what we Indians will have to learn if we have to be successful. Otherwise, yes, I mean, we are Indians and we are able to do much more. And I would love and be even this kind of, let's say, the diversity that we are enjoying. At times, this gives me some sort of a different kick. And that's what the loveliness of India is also.
I love that. We get a different kind of kick by connecting and, collaborating and networking with different people in our country. It's really,
Absolutely.
really a joy to see different kinds of people celebrating different
And more
milestones
than
in
this,
their
ma'am,
life.
in fact, they will say that, please understand me first. And that is something very, very crazy in my opinion. Why I should understand and why I should, whereas in Germany, it is one straight line, tuck, 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 next, at least, you can be rest assured in a week, I'm completing it. But here in India, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, man, this course, India is not for beginners. It requires a different set of human being. And that I think, we are the only people who can figure this out.
Yes, dear. I understand that. I got it. Yes, ma'am. See, ma'am, you earlier mentioned that you were connected to the aviation industry, like you were
Yes,
interested in,
yes. Mhm.
uh, with regard to aeroplanes and you were a pilot or something like that you were shared about. I just want to know your thoughts on the present air crash, air crash that took place in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. What are your thoughts on this crash that took place? If you'd like to share that.
Certainly, it's a first of all, it's a real tragic incident and the largest incident that India has ever witnessed in the aviation history, right? This is really a disaster, and it's a shame also for our nation. That is what I want to begin with. And second thing is, I also want to say that we have worked on the 787 Dreamliner dash 8 dash 9 dash 1000. So, or 10, whatever. So I think this is something crazy what we have seen. But 787 or Boeing planes per se has been famous for fatal accidents because their hydraulics fail. I'm not sure what is the issue? Because whenever I'm seated in any Boeing plane, especially I just read the card before I get onto any sort of plane. Any Boeing plane, I'm pretty sure that keep your seat belts fastened at all times because you never know when the plane will go the other direction. So this is a big issue. Second thing is, even the electricals are a difficult subject in that environment. So electronics, electrical, software errors are very, very predominant. And mechanical failures, of course, it used to be there, but these are state of art of aircraft. Let's say 787 is a fantastic state of art of aircraft, and it has a fly-by-wire technology. Any set of manual overruns has a lot of alarm systems triggering off. And this plane is very safe. Even it can take care of the pilot errors and ensure that the passenger safety is at a very, very high level. We can trust to that level. But when the software error appears somewhere, and when it creates some sort of trouble, you know, the engine can go wrong anytime. When especially, the situation that we encounter, this kind of a disaster, we have hardly seen only in the cases of engine failure or a bird crash or something else or a software issue, right? So here the first two factors are done. This is, in my opinion, it's a software issue or a electronic failure or something else which is really causing this kind of a problem. And it is a real pity that we are not in a position to resolve these kind of things immediately. But only one question mark that I have, when I think when we see that kind of a video footage, the suddenly the plane goes into flames. But despite that, one man jumps out of the plane and he comes out, and I'm wondering how he could do that. Because the flames are everywhere. It's a bomb, but how did you come alive? That's my question mark. So I think the study is yet to happen, and we need to know a lot more. There are a lot of hidden information, in my opinion, and maybe cockpit recorder or something else, the flight data can throw up something, but it's just 30 seconds, and what can we get out of it is a big question mark.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing that. In fact, I wanted to focus on this one miracle that has occurred. The life of that one particular individual has been saved, and it's really a mystery and a miracle as well. You just don't know how to digest that news. Like that one particular person has survived the fatal crash.
Yeah.
That's great. So, may I ask you that, do you believe in miracles? Now, this person had a miraculous escape.
Opinion. How did he come out of that fireball is the biggest question that I am worried. And then the plane was in so many floors above, and it's a I don't know. It could be, as you said, it could be a miracle, but the science is about the facts, and God is about a belief. So I think this is a competition between the two. So science is questioning. Science will go on question because that man is not in his full consciousness. He's probably in his trauma, and he's not able to speak, and he's not a techie. We can make out, and he's not in that kind of a tune that he can answer to the world what it is. So it's still a mystery, I would say. So someone will have to figure this out, what happened. So probably once he's better off, I'm sure the NIA or somebody else will sit with him. How does it happen? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Now, dear, we are celebrating Father's Day today. I
Yeah.
would like you to share a wonderful memory with regard to your father. What impact did your father have in your life? Like, what is it that you learned from your father that you still
Oh,
continue till date?
absolutely. I think he is a hero always, and he will be a hero all the time. And whenever I came back, and the kind of energy that was passed over to stand up back again, and that's amazing. And I really cannot give it away in a short span here, but I can say that there are a lot more things to learn. Even he is 85, and I'm yet to learn a lot from him. So it is not enough, and that sort of hero and heroism must continue, so that we can learn and we can become a better citizen, of course, one day. That's what I want to give you, a short message.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing that. Now, you've mentioned that your dad is 85 years and he is still with you, is
Yeah.
amongst you people, right?
Yes.
The World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Many senior citizens are suffering a lot at the hands of their own children, irrespective of how they've treated them during their younger years. There are certain parents who've been very strict and harsh with their children, and they get it back from their children once the children grow up. There are also a certain group of elderly people who have taken good care of their children. They have treated them like,
Yes.
you know, that I mean, I can't put words to explain that. Like they've treated them with lots of love and respect. But towards the fag end of their lives, they are being tortured and being harassed by their their adult children. Would you like to share something on this, ma'am?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I'll just share my life story. Probably, this would be a wonderful thing, probably for all the viewers. My experience is that when I graduated, I got married, I left to Germany. I did not take care of them. They were alone. And we used to come once or twice a year or a little more often. And then whenever I used to visit the hometown, I used to go meet them and then go back. So that was the only, connection. And once in a week, I used to call, I used to have a lengthy chat with them. Um, and that's it. I think you imagine the 23 years passed just like that. And they were young. At that time, I could have done something. They could have done something. We could have done something together. And that missed. And after the 23 years of time, when I come back, I stand at the door saying that I'm failed in my life. I now want to enter this home. I got thrown out. I could not do anything. So I'm back to the square. I lost everything. I gave away everything. I didn't even carry a spoon from the home which I left behind. So they were shattered. And they asked me in the door, after 23 years, you remembered us. Thank you. And they said, please get in. You are always my kid. And I had not eaten for about 3 or 4 days when I had left my home because I didn't feel like that trauma was very high. And when I came to my home, my mom asked me the first thing, did you eat your food? So this is something which I cannot explain, right? So people need to know what parents are. Parents are parents. So I'm just trying to share my experience so that at least you know uh, there are happy families at least from now. Yeah.
Yes, dear.
So
You made me
thank you.
emotional. Yes. Please go ahead. You are sharing
No,
something.
no, I'm good. Thanks.
Yes, dear. That's really nice. You shared that you really, when you said your mom asked you, did you eat? You know,
Yeah.
as you say, parents are parents, no one can take their place.
Correct.
No one
Correct.
can take their place. And
Yes.
this is the mistake many of the children do. They think parents are replaceable. In fact,
Mhm.
parents are not replaceable at any given point of time. Of course,
Yeah.
if your parents are very harsh, they are cruel and they are manipulating, that's a different story. But if you have genuine parents who take care of you, it's a blessing, and please take care of them in the right way.
Yes. At least I found an opportunity to live my rest of life with them. So, which is, I'm really grateful to my family who made this happen. Otherwise, I might have repented for this whole life, or probably like me, there are many, many others who are abroad, who are not able to spend, who are compelled with something, and then their life has called for something else, and they are stuck. So, in this situation, it is a pity. Yeah.
Yes, dear. Thank you, Dr. Anita. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to ask you a very personal question.
Mm-hmm.
Go with the flow. And if you are comfortable, you can answer this. Now,
Sure.
when there was a transition from a male body into a female body, when did this happen? Was it all of a sudden, or it was a transition over the years? If you can just give that, because why I'm asking this personal question is because there will be many of the other youngsters who could relate to something. They'll not be misguided in any way. They need the correct information from the right kind of people, right? And
Right.
you're one of them here
I'll
today.
share that with you. See, this normally crops up at the young age. Many, 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 right? Not necessarily everyone will have to realize in their young age or their adolescence, or it could be just married and you have something. It could be for various reasons. See, you cannot control your biology. You're born. This body is a very complex mechanism, first of all. Let's agree to that. Number two, you cannot control the changes because we still don't have the kind of medicines or the science or the technology available to manipulate this entire bodily softwares that are available. Right? And Number three, it could happen because of various reasons, genetic factors. It could be because of social factors, or it could be because of any other issues that are coming up. And once the genetics are modified or gets modified unknowingly within one's body, then the changes would become imminent, right? So what happens is your subconscious mind starts to get another signal. Maybe your conscious mind is still the gender at birth, but your body on the other side, or the mind is getting another signal because your genes have already changed. For your information, in our body, we have 22,000 active genes, and you have pseudo genes, then you have non-performing genes, and so on, various categories. So the changes in the tune will happen in any manner, whichever direction that is. And once the changes, on top of this DNA, a protein starts to develop. And once the protein starts to develop, you really cannot change it. So it starts giving you another sort of a set of a signal that you are not this, you are this. Simple. And this can happen, sorry for that. This can happen because of various other factors. As I said, it could be even because of the plastics that we eat. We have plastic food, right? The containers. It could be because of any other factor, including water, food, or anything that is coming in, you have a trouble instantly. So to manage this, you have only one way: entertain your genetics, right? So, but to get to that, we may have a lot of issue. We may have to have a lot of fight, right? Some people will say, yes, they realize that this is something what we are getting is as a signal. But when you leave that comfort zone, move into a zone where you don't know what it is, use the help of a doctor. In my situation, the so and so, the same thing happened. I battled for 2 years. At the age of 45, my blood pressure increased. I had a lot of hypertension issues, panic attacks, and so on and so forth. I didn't know. All of a sudden, in the midnight, it starts. Every alternate day, every day it starts. I go to hospital, get admitted in an ambulance, and then next day morning get discharged, come home. Then suffering 2 3 days. Then again, ambulance is coming up. Ambulance is picking me, taking me to the hospital. When you check the whole body, everything is normal. So, but the drama is happening. You don't know what the real reason is. Almost 2 years. Then the hospital doctor said, please don't come. So they said, there's something seriously wrong, and why don't you connect to a psychiatrist, meet them? And maybe it is because of your business situations, or it could be because of anything else. Why don't you just get that checked up? Because it's just not because of something else. And you really need to spend some time. And the Germans advised me to do yoga. So I said, I don't need such things because I already know what these things are, and I'm healthy, and I'm supposed to not to get into any of this. And then, yeah, then again, I was forced, and a psychiatrist is whom I met. When I met, the corona had started, the pandemic. So I had to go through a lot of up and down there to get the appointment, the regulations, and isolations, and so on and so forth. But yeah, fortunately, the psychiatrist spent a lot of time with me, and then he came out with a report saying that you have something called as gender dysphoria. That's the first time ever I heard, even though I studied psychology for a long time. Gender dysphoria term, probably I had forgotten it. Then I said, okay, gender dysphoria, what the heck is this? Let me understand. Then he explained everything, and you need to be like this, you need to be like this. Are you ready for the new life? And this is like, well, wow, this is something crazy. This is something what we probably didn't wanted. And then I went and spoke to my spouse. They said, no, I don't accept you. So it's really dirty. And then just started social distancing anyway, even at my home. They gave me one plate, one spoon, something like, contagious that somebody will get it. So this is the kind of environment that I got into. So the ostracization, I would say, is the step, that I began. I became a victim for that. But I couldn't do anything. I was like finished. So this is how the whole thing started. And then I had to convince myself, accept myself, think what would be my new life, because the kind of activities that I was doing there, consulting with some larger companies and the Indian companies, of course, would not continue further because it will just break out. Then I had to come out to convince myself, okay, this is the kind of change. And then again, what if the family doesn't accept? But I was not sure, um, I was not really expecting that they would expel me. But I was thinking that, they would be with me. But yeah, the hard times came, and then they put me into such kind of irritation factors where I even went to commit suicide, because I couldn't take the pain, the shame, and whatever, including my neighbors. They said, no, 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 you have to get out. This is not good. So the drama happened in such a big level. Continuously for 4 years, I used to go and beg, please accept. This is something what is necessary. Otherwise, even I tried, the Ayurveda, homeopathy. I came to India. I went to so many places. No, nothing is supportive. Nothing is supportive. So I had to only go back and request, please help me, let me live. They said, no, no, you have to go out. We don't support you. So we don't want a transgender, let's say, son-in-law. So, there should not be two ladies at home. I said, okay, that's the case, then this is it, unfortunately, but I have to live. What should I do? Do I need to die, or do I get some sort of a solution? Said, no, no. And they were very, very harsh. They pushed my ego to separate, of course. Probably I'm thankful to some people who spoke really harsh words, so that otherwise I would have probably closed down in a different direction. But yes, I had to come through all these kind of a challenge to stand up on my own and to realize or to show what all probably, how I can reshape my, let's say, existence. I don't need to prove anything to the world. All that I'm trying to do is, at least in this situation, if we are able to bring out certain technology to the world, contribute certain important messages, we could build a better society, a better India. This is where I'm looking to contribute and be there. This is my transition. And many come out even at the age 85. I've helped people personally at the age 58, 59, 62, 70s. So there are many people who do come out of those kind of things. Not necessarily they need to have a clinical issue like what I went through, but yeah, it is very important. Once the hormone therapy at those ages, touch the soul or the body, I think it makes a lot of difference. It makes a lot of difference. That gives the kind of healing that one requires. And probably in this life, one has to see various experiences. And I don't see this, I think, is something bad. And, it's just an opportunity for me. And this is how I perceive. And then there could be something else waiting. And that's where I'm just simply continuing my life.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing that. It was quite hard for you to share, but you shared that. That's really nice. They say when you start sharing your story and you cry no more, you are healing or you've healed. They say that, right? I just would like to ask you now, do you still feel hurt somewhere deep down, being abandoned by your family or not accepted by your family and your loved ones?
See, one thing is for sure, we forgive, we leave it, we move on, and we try to construct something new. But the wound is huge. you cannot stitch it, you cannot do anything. But on that wound, you come back and create some more problems, and you don't let that wound heal. That is a bigger trouble, right? So that's what is happening in my life. I'm still battling for the divorce. So that's where it is.
Thank you, dear, for sharing that. Thank you so much. I have another very sensitive question. Like in the interest of everyone, they would want this question to be asked if at all anyone were sitting in right in front of you. They would ask you, I guess, I believe. Like in case if your spouse faced the same problem, would you accept the situation and forgive and accept and stand by your spouse? If
Can I tell
so,
you something? It's something like, you love each other. This is what you promised. This is what you are married for, isn't it? Not to run away when the problem comes. And I don't do that. And if there is some genuine issue, genuine reason, I would stand by it. I would fight for it. I would make sure that our respect remains, the family remains, people are happy, and we back each other. And that's what these kind of things are all about. It's not like suddenly you come and, oh, tomorrow you're changed. But what did you promise? Did you love that individual as a character, or did you like what? What did you like? That's my question mark. Was it the money? Was it the body? Was it the societal nonsense that what you're seeing? Or do you like to have a family? Where do you want to unite? Because I have perfect examples. Even in Germany, for example, a society like that, they live together. They are a partner forever. And that's what we promise. Our Hindu marriage says the same thing. But here, the divorce is filed just because I'm a trans woman. So this is something which I want to leave this to the public to decide. This is something which is very, very unethical practice, and I don't know what sort of a preaching they come out with. And if they cannot handle, if they cannot take that kind, if they feel it's a torture, of course there are many surgeries and there are many, many looks and all those things they are available. Unfortunately, I didn't do anything, but the genetics was so strong, it got modified so strong. Look at me, without any surgery I'm absolutely fine, right? So people can't wait, they just go jump and then they create accidents. And this is something which is really, really bad. And that requires a good psychologist or a psychiatrist hand holding in this particular situation, that at least the family members are the first members who are there. And in this kind of a journey, a trans woman's journey, or any gender identity, I would say, or a trans man's journey, it's a continuous learning for the life. Each day is something new. The family will have to learn, and the individual will have to learn. It's not like, okay, there is some manual which is available. I didn't buy let's say, a CD player, I would say, or some sort of a player, a music player that you go and buy it in a Marshall or whatever. So this doesn't have an operating manual. So you really need to learn, you need to adopt. Each person's journey is different, each person is different. How do they evolve? This is something to be seen, and this is where the humanity is missing. And for your information, I see that somebody was talking to me about the statistics. The last 1 month, there were more than 400 kids thrown on the streets of Bangalore because they wanted to be a trans woman. So imagine the future of those kids. You are creating a bad economy just because of what? You're feared about the society. You're fearing about the shame. What will my relatives say? What will somebody else say? Can you not see that is something, a bright future? The kid has a bright future. The kid can do lot many things. Can you not handhold? Can you not be there with them? And you wanted your kid, you go to IVF, you get implantations done. You know, it's so bad. I feel really bad.
Thank you, Dr. Anita, for sharing that. Thank you. Very interesting. We'll take a short break and we'll be back.
Sure.
So, dear friends, this is the story of Anita, Dr. Anita Prasad. She's been sharing that very well with us. We'll continue the journey after a short break. Join us. We are back after the short break. It's time to continue the journey and understand the life of Dr. Anita Prasad, a warm, gentle, down-to-earth person. I feel good when I speak to her. It gives me positive vibes. We need to understand people, irrespective of gender. You have to understand how the person treats you, how the person communicates with you, and what you can give back to that person, right? The first thing you should give back is respect. The other fanfare or the show or, the temporary stuff that you give, the gifts and etc. etc. I wouldn't want to go over there. It becomes another journey. So a simple communication and respect is all that is required to make people feel valued and respected, right? Now, ma'am, I'd like to come back to you. Anita, ma'am, when you came out of the situation you were in, like the difficult phase, when you came out, you said you were on a construction journey, accepting your new life, meeting new people. When you began to meet new people, did you feel that people were welcoming, or they also like had their own taboos, or like they were, biased or something, or were they open-minded?
I think the society is fearing, what is the danger that when you meet with somebody, even though they appear that they are open to any gender identity, for example, and or encountering the new gender identity for the first time ever, they are a little bit taken aback the first time. But when there is a substance, when there is a knowledge, when there is something more than what those people are, and when I'm able to, let's say, overrun those people, for example, I always found an opportunity in that time, right? So that means that they started respecting immediately. That it could be because of the content, it could be because of the kind of small fan base that I connected. It could be because of the kind of knowledge that we shared across or anywhere. It's like creating that beautiful world. So that is something what fascinated many. And they said, oh, this is not something which is normal. And we don't see this kind of a trans woman anywhere. We have never seen such a trans woman anywhere. This is something very unique. And this is one of the case, and they realized that very quickly that this is something which requires a different set of, let's say, the spectacle to visualize than the normal things, right? So that's where they started to put me in a different bracket. And whoever I met in the past, or let's say worked with, the connection is so strong, and we have been working together. And there are so many people, they know me. Those universities where I visited, they took me as an advisor to them. So it's a next level jump. They said, why don't you teach our professors? So this is the kind of initiatives that went into, right? So they wanted many guidance to be provided, ideas to be provided, patents to be brought onto the table. So I see this as a very positive one than putting anything or discarding this in a different direction, because it takes some time for anyone to understand that who this person is. That's very, very important. That's where I have been working all through. And any new connection, because I meet with a lot of new people every day, and slowly it is expanding. The initiatives are coming. There are so many progress that are happening. So it doesn't happen overnight. When you look at something larger, the bigger ball, it takes a long time. But once that start rotation, that is something what we all experience, that kind of a pride. Yes, this is something extraordinary, and that a normal regular person cannot understand.
Yes, dear, I agree that. I agree with you on that. That's very true. Next jump or something, you mentioned something like that, right?
Yes.
That's really nice. Now I remember it. Now I remember. This is the question that I had already prepared in my mind before I could, just.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
You are into innovation as well, right, Dr.
yeah,
Anita?
yeah.
What kind of innovation? Because you belong to the science stream, you belong to the engineering stream, and all of that. Like,
Yeah,
what kind
see,
of
mainly
innovations? I've read about you online.
the industry 4.0, people spoke about it. The industry 4.0, India, I mean, Germany, there were a lot of push. Because I came from Germany, the industry 4.0 was on a very high rise. And we could automate the machines, and build many solutions, robotic process automations, and so on and so forth. We could contribute in every angle, I would say. And keeping this as a background, we deployed the many robotic solutions earlier. And the same thing which I wanted to start, because I know that this is a very vast field, the robotics. People don't know much about it, because the technology is not available. And I saw a huge gap in India because we are waking up to America or rest of the world every day. We entertain the technology coming in from abroad, and we service the clients for abroad. We don't work for ourselves, right? So this is something which I wanted to work the other way around. I said, let me take this as challenge. I can create these kind of things. Whatever somebody created sitting in America or something else, we can create. We have the strength. Let's start working towards it. And I started ideating. We prepared a GPT. We created a LLM. We created so many things. They are not out in the market, but we did everything. And we wanted to buy our own servers. We wanted to have our own, this NVIDIA graphic cards, so many things. But yes, I mean, everything had a constraint. Now we don't have the finances. Investors are not ready. They're saying that, oh, how sure? What is the return on investment? And one lovely investor in India was asking me a question. You are reinventing a wheel. Instead of supporting this cause of supporting and growing and making India grow, come out in the global competition, people are talking, saying that you are reinventing a wheel. So this is how much we are sold abroad. So I encounter with such people, and later I said, robot will have to be on my own feet. It cannot overrule. And what is the regulations and the rules and the let's say the public policies that are available in India for robotics or factory automation or any sort of automation that is coming into the play? There is nothing, no guidelines written. So there are many health related subjects which I notice the kind of potential. So I need to build the wealth. So I've been connecting with a lot of people. Tell them, show them these are the kind of products and these are the kind of innovations. We built orthosis. I mean, let's say a skeleton which someone can wear who has knee pain, who has, let's say, a short leg, or it could be anything. Or we made the blind walk wearing a 360-degree camera. So this is how crazy it is. And we built many technologies, or we are building many technologies for the defense industry, the ministry, right? And so on and so forth. My list continues. So all these things we did in our small money that we are able to earn. Nobody gave us, right? And somebody said, okay, there's one lady who came, she said, my husband passed away. Here it is. Can you build a humanoid bot in his name? I said, this will cost so much. And she said, okay, I agree to pay this. Why don't you do it? And I agreed to name that robot, the first humanoid robot for India, as Sri Ranga, because that was the man who died many years ago. So I really wanted to bring these things alive. So this is how the journey is. This is how exciting as it can get every day. So I really don't care. Okay, this is my gender. This is how I need to behave. This is how I need to wake up. This is how I need to sleep. No, there are no regulations. And this is how your body behaves, mind behaves, and you are happy for your own self internally. And I'm able to balance. I want to continue. This is where I continue, wake up in a positive directions. and move on to build new technology, new innovations, robotics. And these are something what India requires for the next generations in the future to come out with, right? So this is where I said I'm in a construction site. And apart from this, we train a lot of women because I know the kind of pain without knowledge, without anything. And I really suffered that. And I saw many people are also suffering when I came to India, and they're going and begging on the street and so on and so forth. So we got trans women, those who are suffering and fighting in their own home. We wanted them to be more stable. So today we have trained just in a year's time around 600 MSMEs we created. We trained women. We gave them something which is without much of skills. I connected to some university. Why don't you teach some mathematics and some sort of a graduation program for them on Sundays? So these are something which is extraordinary. What I do, what I involve with, and this gives a definite different happiness quotient, which I never ever got, right? This humanity, peace, and inclusivity, which you said when we began our discussions, this is something which I learned when I went to the Ukraine border to rescue our Indians and Ukrainians when Russia started their attack. And that is a time when I was also with volunteering with the other Indian mission Ganga, you know that. So I was there, Mr. VK saying, the volunteer, we can share the photographs as well, certainly. And this is something which I really imagined because my home don't know what the reality is. The life can get to one bag in a minute, just like what we are seeing now. Millions of people are coming out. And you are talking about some identity. You don't know what it is. You can't believe the kind of life. You don't believe the person who held your hands for 23 years. And this is disappointing, right? So these are something where I started to work and start my let's say insights and deeper connections. I don't want to prove anything to anyone, but I want to make sure the world is changing. The world realizes what this is. The world, at least the next future generations, are not going to suffer like the way I'm suffering or I suffered. So this is where I'm trying to work for that better.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Like you are a phoenix rising from the ashes, right?
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. I really like the way you shared all of that. Like you are into robotics and you're helping others. You're trying to create and generate employment, etc. I have a question for you, Dr. Anita. Is the government coming forward to support you in any way? Is there any government support?
No. I didn't approach any government because I know these are pretty unstable environments and they could get really nasty and I may be pushed into something else. And I don't want to, let's say, get into that kind of a path which could bring trouble. But yes, of course, I am in touch with the real nation builders. That's all I can tell you. The real nation builders, I'm in touch with them, and that has been there for many many years. There are many who worked in India for that, so I'm very fortunate to be one among them, and they are also very happy to have me as one of their support pillars. And they have been encouraging me as well. So I can say that I now belong to India. I don't belong to somebody, I now belong to India because I was having those kind of bottlenecks and the heavy weight which I had to drag as a family. Now I'm free. I'm able to do certain things more aggressively and look for the nation.
Yes, dear. I really appreciate what you're doing. Many of us can learn something from you, you see. Nation builders, that's what you mentioned. Like, you are a nation builder, you're connected with nation builders. I think each one of us should take this from you as a clue, irrespective of gender, irrespective of your profession. You should be a nation builder and contribute not only to your nation, but to the entire world. Be global citizens. I would like to put that. And
And one more message, very, very important message that I want to pass over is, today we talk about I'm Maharashtrian, I am Kashmiri, I am Karnataka, I'm Tamilian, I'm something else. You promote your languages. You stand with it. We all are Indians, work for India. This is not the time for us to keep talking. Instead of that, you start spreading the awareness of your knowledge. You want to talk about your poetry, you want to talk something else. Be more sensible. As a responsible citizens of India, you drive it, not like controversy, and then there are so many protests and so much of time waste in the government and so on and so forth. I think this is becoming a crazy situation, and we are also spoiling our Indian public properties and taxpayers money, and we are absolutely irresponsible citizens. Why don't we start changing to build this brand new India? This is what I want to leave this message with.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anita. Thank you very much. I'd like you to give a message to the young generation. Like, if any of them find themselves in the same place as you, certain differences in their body, it could be they've realized that some changes are occurring within them. As you mentioned, it could be genetics, it could be a number of reasons which you've mentioned. What is your message to them?
See, world is evolving, and they're already evolved, and many people know it. We don't have to reintroduce. One of the other places, we are coming out with such kind of gender identities, so they are not alone. Firstly, number two, people can also understand. Number three, they need to be more stronger. What is their character, not like yeah, I mean, I understand when you're going through that kind of transition in the beginning phases, first 1 2 3 years is like a kid. It's like how do I put it, let's say a 12 13 year 14-year-old kid, especially a girl going through a puberty time, not the man or the boy, right? So the girl going through that kind of environment, you have so much of changes happening. The typical changes happen in this kind of scenario, right? So the parents will need to know to handhold at this particular point of time, or at least those people who are in transition need to know that. And once this kind of bodily changes or that kind of wave has a little bit silenced, and that's when you start building that kind of a character to the real world, what they are. Just not jumping on some other's opportunity and you lost 2 3 years. No, you need to really build the kind of life, and the hard work is essential. The Generation Z or the new generations are always keen towards taking a shortcut, jumping, using the bots, using something else, and learning, implementing something very quick. No, that's not something called as a maturity and a hard work. A hard work is very, very different. That has to go from the scratch. And that's what we ensure whenever I work with a Gen Z or anybody else, and make sure that they are being tortured to get that right thing so that they don't do anything wrong and they teach others as well. And this is very much important. And even the parents will have to work towards it. I know they are too quick, but we need to work simultaneously.
Yes, dear. Thank you for sharing that lovely message. Thank you so much. I'd like to put a last personal question to you. What I've heard from my journey on the International Fab Talks, I've been interviewing many people from the transgender community, from the LGBTQ plus community, I mean, all of that. A few of them have been sexually harassed. I would like to ask you, have you also been facing this? And if yes, how were you able to protect yourself?
See, I'll tell you, sexual harassments could happen because the other person, this is what I keep telling people, the trans women are like women. So, women, first of all, are treated like sex objects. Simple, right? So when women are treated, trans women are also in the same kind of a situation. So people are not clear when they see the kind of behavior that they come out with, the bodily behavior, the appearance, the attraction that these people do, because they're usually attracted to men. For example, trans man, woman is attracted to men, and then trans man attracted to women. So they try to pose a little bit, very weird appearances at times. And this is what I have, seen. So when such things happen, they are prone to that kind of an attack. And they also, first of all, they appear very weird to the society. The society may not accept them so immediately. So they will have to spend their own time. They have to give the other person some time to say that this is my sexual orientation. but other person is not willing to learn because there is no education available in India per se, right? So how will you make that uneducated person who's an absolute villager to make you understand, whereas he's in a real force coming on somebody? So to this, first of all, try to protect somebody themselves, have some apps, have some immediate support available, or even a pepper spray, or let's say some sort of electric shock waves. Or there are several gadgets that are available. At least try to protect and try to make sure that you're not into that kind of a scenario which you don't want that deliberately, or even women per se, right? These days, everyone are getting smarter. So how do we save ourselves from these kind of attacks? And how do we make it a more safer society? Because the other side, it's an object. They just don't care. And after accident, we want to react. No, we can't do it. So better you start acting it now. So that is what the message I want to leave with society.
Yes, dear. Thank you, Dr. Anita, for sharing that. A message for parents, for those parents who come to understand that their child is transitioning from one gender to another, to be more accepting. Accept your child. Do not open the doors and push them out. I've heard many stories where parents just shove their children out of the doors, I mean, out of the home. So, what's your message for them? And I would like to put a request to all those parents to please take this message very seriously. Over to you.
So I don't think so. They should be throwing their children out because they prayed for it. They want to have the children. So whoever their children are, they need to be treated as children and they need to take care of it. And it's their responsibility. And especially the father has the liability to take care of the education. You cannot expel that lovely child. It's under the Indian law as well. And even the Transgender Protection Act 2019 and so on and so forth are pretty strong. And we don't want any problems to occur in terms of the legalities. But the parents play a very important role, not only, as I said repeatedly, not only to have their family in the right way, but to shape India, their country, their motherland. If they really have a patriotism in their heart, they should be standing to protect that situation well, not just standing on the 26th of January and 15th of August, we sing, and then after that, in theater, you raise up and then you sit down. This is not something what we are looking at. We are looking for something more extraordinary. Are we looking at something which is a better society? What did you do? You think this is a problem, but it's not actually a problem. A kid is a trouble. Anything that you did a karma already, why are you bothered? The karma gets bigger, it doesn't matter, but at least you make it minimal. You have your intelligence coming in forward, right? Or you get into the counseling, you meet the therapist, you meet somebody else and figure out, what is it that you can do, rather than losing that kind of heart and leaving this and creating a bad economy, which is number one, right? I think people going and begging tomorrow, you imagine your kid is doing prostitution or beggary. Is this something what you want? Is this something what they even wanted it as a kid? You can't even imagine this, right? Or maybe some murder or something else. I'm sorry. I mean, this is something which every parent will have to think 100 times, or even a family, even a spouse, for example, before they split. This is huge. This impact is huge. No, please don't do it.
Thank you, Dr. Anita. Thank you so much for sharing that. I wouldn't want to let you go, but I respect your time. One last question. How would you define love towards the end? Because you believe in humanity, you believe in the institution of marriage, you believe in being connected to your partner, you have that family feeling, you believe in unity as far as I've understood you. How would you define love today on the platform?
Love is something what you love for any act, anyone, any human being, anything that you want to do, right? So that love is the only hope that you have. That is something which drives you forever. That is the force that gives you the inspiration. So keep that up all the time and be attentive. And yeah, use that love to do more. This is the message I want to leave it with.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anita. Self-love is important. What I've understood from your journey, you begin to love yourself, you begin to accept yourself, and that's how you can create wonders in the world.
True.
And I love this when you've shared it the start, like, constructing myself. I'm on the journey of construction, and I'm, experiencing new things in my life. Every day is a new learning.
True. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anita. We look forward to many more interactions with you. We'd love you to join us and to
Absolutely.
create awareness
Absolutely.
on various other topics. Thank you so much. More power to you. We love you for who you are, and
Thank you
we are
so much.
proud that
Thank
you
you.
are you. No one can be Dr. Anita Prasad. You are unique, you are special, and we'd love everyone to learn something from Dr. Anita. That is to be strong no matter what happens, and to love yourself and to contribute to humanity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Dear friends, with this we come to an end now to the International Fact Talks for today. Do share this video with the right kind of people. You never know who may be interested or who may derive a lot of inspiration from what has been shared today, who may be undergoing different types of changes in their personal life. This would really help them to bloom, to fight back, and to live this life till their last breath. Do not give up on life. Life is beautiful, and there are many, many good people around us. If not within the family, maybe beyond our family, we have lots of good people who will support us for the good that we do, right? With this, we'd like to sign off now. If you like what we are doing, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. Prioritize peace, be united as a family, and happy Father's Day to one and all. And take care of your elders. Do not put them under any form of abuse, or do not give them any trauma that they begin to curse their journey on this earth. Like they say towards the end, why do I need to live? Let them feel that, yes, we need to live longer, right? Thank you so much, Dr. Anita. God bless you.
Thank you.
Stay blessed. Thank you, ma'am.